That was cool!
So the Steam Deck has been out for almost a year now, and if you don't already know, the Steam Deck is a handheld gaming PC made by Valve, the same people who make Steam, obviously. Anyway, the thing launched at a price of $399 base, $529 for more storage, and $649 for the highest storage, and you get a better screen, quote unquote, and a better case. Initially, when this thing was announced, I didn't really care. I was like, okay, this is basically a more powerful Switch that can only play my Steam games. And I was like, I don't really care. I have a PC already. I don't need a handheld way to play those games because I don't really want to play those games handheld anyway. But then I got to thinking, and people got me interested because of the emulation possibilities. Now, I love emulation because I love, being able to tweak and play my old games in different ways and in better ways sometimes, if you up the resolution and, you change some things up, make it the best possible experience you can play on those old games. And I love my old games. I grew up playing GameCube, Game Boy Advance, stuff like that. In that, the 6th generation, I believe it is. But I love those games, and if I could find more ways to play them, I would love to. So just that idea alone, just the idea of being able to play the Dolphin emulator specifically anywhere I want, that got me interested. But still, at a base price of $400, I held off because I was like, man, I have a billion different ways already to play the GameCube. My PC, the real GameCube, the Wii, whatever. I was like, I don't need this right now for $400. But luckily, I got one for Christmas. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And now I have one, and it is awesome. The first thing I did when I got the Steam Deck, other than install Sonic Adventure 2, was install EmuDeck. It's a one-stop shop for all things emulation on this thing, and it makes everything super easy to set up. It basically does everything for you in terms of installing emulators. From there, you just have to load up games into their respective folders, choose the game art you want to see in the Steam menus, and then you're good to go. It's that easy. Of course, if you want to, you can go and tweak things like resolution and button mappings and things of that nature, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. The emulation performance on the Steam Deck is great. It is just what I was looking for. Again, I just wanted mostly a portable thing for GameCube and Wii games, and up to this point, I was actually using my iPhone to do those things. There's a way to get Dolphin iOS, right? Dolphin running on iPhones and iPads and things of that nature. And it worked. It actually worked really good once I figured it all out. But the heat that it was producing off my phone got me a little worried. And also, to keep it working, you have to keep refreshing it, and you just have to jump through a lot of hoops to keep that working on the iPhone and just Apple devices in general. So it was more hassle than it was worth. And, it got me worried about bricking my only phone, so it wasn't really a good option anymore. Most games that I want to run perfectly smoothly without any tweaking required, but some games do have some hiccups that require you to go in and change a few things. Luckily, the Steam Deck makes that very easy with their own, sidebar where you could just change the GPU clock and things like that. But if you want to go a step further, there is a plugin called Power Tools where you can actually change things like how many cores that the CPU gets to use for this game. And I don't know why that helps. I'm not an expert, but it does help, and it's super easy to do. And yeah, it's perfect. For me, performance issues only really appear for the more demanding games, when you go higher up the scale of emulation, like GameCube, Wii, and then further. But for everything before that, I've had no issues, no real reason to use Power Tools. I love playing the Game Boy Advance games on there. 3DS games run pretty good. Just, again, EmuDeck is the GOAT for all things emulation because it will just download every emulator you could possibly think of that you want and just put the ROMs in, easy. Forgetting about emulation for a second, the main reason most people would get a Steam Deck is to play their Steam library on the go. Not every game will work on the Steam Deck, but Valve is always working on compatibility, and they actually filter out what games will work and what games won't work. There's a Great on Deck tab in both the store and the library that will show you all the games that you own that will work really good on the Steam Deck, and on the store, what games that they sell that would work really good on the Steam Deck. I've pretty much exclusively used the Steam Deck for emulation, but the few games that I have tried work pretty flawlessly according to, the compatibility that Valve gives. So far for me, there haven't been that many negatives for the Steam Deck. Most people will say it's the battery life. I haven't had too much problems with the battery life because I do be playing those less demanding games from 20 years ago. But my only real issue so far has been this thing that happened with my analog stick. You see, there are some games that will require you to spin the stick in a circle very fast. And when I did that, it looked like it was actually damaging the stick underneath the thumb cap. I thought at first that it was just dust that would like rub off, but you can actually feel it was the plastic and it wouldn't come off. Now, what I did was just get some rubber silicone, like protectors that would go underneath the thumbstick, and that seemed to have solved the problem completely. They're practically invisible. I forget they're even there, and no more damage. But the fact that that's even a thing you have to worry about is kind of concerning, and I hope they fix that later, or in future iterations of the Steam Deck or future production line, however that works. But for now, problem solved. But that was very concerning at first because this thing's a base at $400, $400 device. You don't want to be damaging your own product just by using it regularly. Overall, this thing acts like my own portable GameCube, and I love it. It's so versatile in what it can do, and the company and the community backing it are top notch. I know there are a bunch of other options for retro handhelds out there and handheld PCs, but I think this is the sweet spot for me, and I think it might be the sweet spot for you too. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your questions and comments below, and make sure to catch my streams because I'll be doing that a lot. Okay, see you guys later. Bye-bye.